Fuck it. We're just gonna go. I don't care. Doesn't look like we have anybody lined up. Thank you all very much for tuning in. This is Wide Open Phones live. It is now actually, I guess this is technically now a Sunday morning show because it started right at the top of Zero Dark Zero. This is a different program from what you may hear from most other people. See, most other people are saying to use Streamer. Hey, you know, you have Streamer, and what that does is lets you use your browser to broadcast, and you're able to have other people join the broadcast, so you give them the Streamer link. Oh no, this is a different type of program. This program, in part, is to get you back to kind of the roots, kind of how we used to communicate. You guys remember phones? There were these things called phones, and not just the phones that you're used to really dealing with, where you basically you have the phone plan and you just use it for data. Oh no, let's talk about back in my day. Let's go back in time. Back in my day here, when I was growing up, we had things called landlines. Now, I don't know if you know this about landlines. You're only allowed to pick a specific code that's called a phone number. That's what it used to be called back then. It was unique to whoever you were trying to connect with, which meant, I don't know, if you had to get the girls back in, I don't know, the 90s, the aughts, maybe even part of the teens there, you had to get the girl's number in order to contact her. And even farther back then, you had to get the household's number because you had numbers by houses. Which hopefully you didn't get her father to pick up the phone, because that's a little bit awkward if you're 15 years old and this girl is 14 or something, and you're trying to get the father to give the number to the daughter or give the phone to the daughter. Yeah, here's the thing, and I've actually seen articles about this. If I ever get Wi-Fi here through my old internet service provider, I will actually probably get a landline too. And the reason I'm going to be getting a landline, just like Wi-Fi, that works when the power's down, so long as the service provider is still in operations. And it doesn't have to be a boogaloo situation. It doesn't have to be a burn this motherfucker down situation. It could be, I don't know, a fucking tree fell across the power lines here. Or the local, transformer station goes out for whatever reason. So it's always hedging your bets. Now, it's an extra $25 a month. Is it worth it? I think it will be. It's an insurance policy. It's backup. Something you might want to have to communicate. Hey, who knows? Actually, I probably won't do this because that has to be tied to your legal information. But it'll be a backup way for communication. Kind of important if shit's going off the rails. Which does lead to my conversation. You guys saw the the thumbnail for this? Here's a cigar that I get the feeling I'm gonna enjoy. I'm not sure. It's a shorter one because I anticipate this to be a shorter show. I don't think anybody's really going to call in. I'll be honest with you. Because here's the thing, and that's a good thing. The reason I started this show and the End Times Report and some of the other ones is because, you know what? We have nothing better to do. Everything's fucking shut down. So why don't we just talk here, as best we can and have a good fucking time? That's why I started the End Times Report. I ended up getting another line, so I figured I'd try out the wide opposing. I'll give a shout out to one of the people who gave me the idea. There's two of them, but I'm only mentioning one. Reasons that goes back to another show that I did. You can check that out. I think it's called was it End Times Report or Why Up His Phone's Unfollowed, something like that. And it's got a picture of their of me going on their page and basically unfollowing them. Shouldn't be that hard to find. But Chris Von Erich, C-R-I-S, Von, V-O-N, Eric, E-R-I-K. I'm just checking some other stuff here. Uber's going to give you a free meal? Okay. That's nice. All right. I got the Fortress meeting. No, somebody else went live. Mike from Boston. From Boston. Okay. I was looking at my notifications. But he does a live call-in show, and he knows how to use StreamYard and all this stuff. He'll have guests on as far as that goes. But I don't know what he uses. He might use Skype. He might use. Well, you can't use Zoom. I don't think that has a number. Skype, I don't think has a number either. He does something. Maybe he does the same thing. I have my own line that's not tied to anything, so I have no problem giving the number out. That number will be coming out. I'll be talking about that momentarily. If you're in the group chat, either group chat, there's two of them on Instagram. Follow me at the goddamn bacon, and it's there. I also put the StreamYard thing there. I also posted it. Did I post it on Twitter? I don't remember. I might have forgotten. But the whole idea was, you know what? There's nowhere else to go, so why don't we just have a good time together? That's why I think Masking Geek and Rob and Nick August and all those people, they did their own roadcast. So we got nothing better to do. Let's talk to our fellow assholes here. This cigar I'm trying is a A Fuente Gran Reserva. I don't think it's related to the not the podcaster. What the fuck is his name? Well, I guess he's a podcaster too. Nick Fuentes. It came with those little balsa wood coverings on it. It's a little bit short. I would say this is. I'm gonna put it next to my poles. That'll give me a good idea. Since I recently measured down there. Yeah, 5 inches at the most. Fairly girthy as far as the cigar goes. So I'm going to try something new here. I have my, not plasma, or it's electric. It's a rechargeable lighter. So it uses electricity rather than gas to make a spark, basically. The reason I'm trying this, I had a whole bunch of these, and I'm not going to get them more because they keep fucking breaking. It was like a waiter's lighter. It was a lighter. It was a butane lighter, refillable one, but it had a waiter's corkscrew in it. It had a little knife to cut foil, and potentially somebody else, if you're going to get that fucking close to somebody, because that thing is maybe like 1.5 inches long. Had a bottle opener, had a wine corkscrew, which kind of works. And I thought it was the coolest thing. I used to get them from Walmart. But Jesus Christ, every single one of them fucking breaks. So now I'm looking for other lighters, but I'm thinking, like, maybe I'll try the electric one. Will that work for cigars? It works for other things. Actually, I'm going to try something real quick. I'm going to try lighting this. I got a paper from Walmart. I picked up my booze from them. And they like the fact that people come by and You know, they do the curbside delivery. And the reason I surmise that, and I've got a whole bag of goodies here that they've given me, amongst other things. You know, just as a gift, just for using a curbside pickup. I don't know how that compares to the people actually going into Walmart. You know, I guess if you're doing pickup, you're probably not going to be the people. You're not going to be the Walmart people that ends up on the news. I'm going to guess that. But also, you're employing other people because you have to have people behind in the stock rooms. You have to have people go out, you know, or maybe either go out on the shelves or go in the stock rooms or whatever to get what you need. Whether it's meat, whether it's booze, whether it's other supplies. Like somebody has to be paid to go get that, and somebody has to be paid to go bring it out to you and verify all your info and all this stuff. So that does create actual jobs. So I think that's one of the reasons they're so thankful about that. Just a thought. But you know, I don't need the paper. It's just kind of a thank you thing. They send the, what do you call it? Customer satisfaction surveys. They send that via email, and I always fill those out. I always give my Walmart high marks because you know they deserve it, but they're a part of my hometown. I want them to, you know, get as much business as they can get because they fucking earned it. I'm gonna try my little plasma electric lighter here on this paper real quick. All right, well, lit it on fire. Holy shit. Bacon, why do you do your shows next to running sources of water? Well, I get dehydrated and also this. All right, well, lit that on fire. Took a second or two, but it worked. All right, I'm going to try this with the cigar now. Why not? Don't worry, we'll get to today's subject. And that's probably all we're going to get to because, again, I think, you know, especially early back then, you know, there wasn't anything going on. Now there's restaurants that are open again. Now there's bars that's open again. Some may be actually open beyond 10 p.m. Some might be open right now. That's where everybody might be. So now usually I'd have a captive audience, but I guess they're all doing other things, and that's good. I'm glad to hear that. Maybe this would be something you could listen to later. That's fine. What the hell was that? Oh, you use 30.2 gigabytes of data. Okay. I have unlimited data, so I don't care. I just have the alert. I just want to see how much I'm using. I listen to a lot of shows live now. Let Them Burn from Nick August. Follow him at Nick August. Masculine Geek. Same name. Aaron Clary. Rational Mel. Kevin and Sales. All one word, actually. All lowercase. Kevin and Sales. Red Sings the Blues. Chris Von Erich. Talked about him. Who else? Terrence Pop. Redonkulous.com. Winning? No. He's been doing a lot more live stuff lately. I think he's realizing that, especially with his following, that if he goes live, he's going to get a lot of super chats, including from yours truly. Jack Napier, Red Evening. Rob Says. Oh, God, who else am I thinking of? Rogue Preparedness. That's Morgan's outfit. That's her website, or YouTube, rather. Rogue Preparedness. She's having to take a little break. I'm telling Kevin and Sells to fucking, hey, calm down, dude. First of all, calm down on the fucking, on being so polarized as far as your positions go, but also, you're going to burn yourself out doing 5 million fucking shows. Ask me how I know. Ask Rob how he knows. Ask Morgan how she knows, because she had to fucking make that announcement. It was like, hey, guys, I can wait till that much other shit going in the background. I can't do this every day. Oh, God, who else? Safety Doc, Safety PhD. Also a good program. He hasn't done anything in a while, actually. I think he does have someone scheduled, though. So, good program to follow. I'm going to be doing an honest review on him. He's next. Oh, God, who else? don't know. If I think of someone else, I'll throw it in there. But let's see if I can get this cigar spark. This A Fuentes, another brand I'm familiar with now. The last cigar I had from them was okay, but I think I fucked it up. So I think I bent it, so I wasn't getting all the smoke. So it wasn't as good as I think it could have been. We'll see how well this electric lighter works. Hang on. Actually, we'll do. Oh, here's one thing. I got the sample because Vince. He's the he basically is the founder of Masculine Geek. He gave me tips about that. I think Rob did as well. Let's throw the guy who used to be the third man in that, TJ Martinell, tjmartinell.com, and also TJ Martinell on YouTube. He's had to step down recently, and but he's still a good guy, has good content. So go follow him too. They gave me tips like basically what you want to do is you want to kind of smoke the cigar before you even start taking pulls. You want to get it kind of pre-blackened, I guess. So that was one of the things that they kind of taught me. They didn't tell me anything about electric lighters or anything, but I'm going to give this a shot. Let's do it live. We're going to do it live. Yeah, it is not liking this at all. I mean, with the brownie edges, huh? Kind of like the edges of the labia of some of my darker skinned women. Ball of Chaos, I think, was one of them. Cambodia single mom is saying this is kind of a nice thing. I kind of like the toasted edges for women that were darker, at least. Cambodia single mom was one of them. Obviously, the black women I've been with certainly toasted edges. It's like kind of crispy on the outside, but it's nice and pink on the inside. Real fucking nice. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna be able to light this. Not with this. No. Hang on. Might be getting something here. Good, an ember. Yeah, we're gonna give it a real fucking shot. Why not? Let's try taking a pull off of it. I'm getting low with the smoke. Not much. Oh, this kind of reminds me of that one scene in, what was it, episode 1, I believe, where I can't remember, they're like invading the space station or something. I'm just gonna use my butane lighter. Just refilled it, by the way. I need to get more gas for it. Where they're trying to get into some room. I can't remember what it is. It's Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan. They're trying to get into some room, and they're using. And Qui-Gon's using. I think they both are actually. They're using their lightsabers to cut. They're trying to cut like a fucking circle into this building so they can get into it, and it's taking them quite a minute. That's kind of what that felt like. Butane did it. Trust in butane. I'm going to invest in butane. That's what I'm going to do. You know what? I should have actually had this thought quite a while ago, but guess I'll air it now. As far as this mass bullshit goes, anyone, if you guys want to answer in the comments, send me an email, bake@thegoddamnbacon.com. Hit me up on any of my socials or whatever. Nothing better than a nice open flame. There we go. Now, prior to COVID, I don't remember seeing any of these masks around there. Maybe there was a few. There was some that was decorative or whatever. I think even some business, like if you had a face covering, they wouldn't even let you in. And now it's kind of a fucking requirement. Where the fuck did all these masks come from? There is some sort of investor or a couple investors or whatever that capitalized on this shit. I really wish I had thought about that instead of just being opposed to it. Instead of just, I don't know, thinking of actual solutions that nobody's gonna fucking listen to until it's too late. I wish I jumped on that train. I wish I had fucking invested in that. I really do. Because hey, you know, mask wearing is going to be quote unquote mandatory. It's going to be mandated. Okay, instead of complaining about it, I should have fucking jumped ahead. I should have fucking, you know, put some money in there, got an investment in. God knows how much I'll be making right fucking now. But Jesus Christ, these fucking masks, as far as I can tell, came out of fucking nowhere. Yep, certainly there was a market for masks because everyone, you know, like should wear them, and then they kind of have to wear them. And God, they just fucking appeared. It's almost like the free market fucking works. Even in an oppressive government, the free market fucking works. Who fucking know? Man, this ain't a half-bad cigar. This ain't bad. I also got a bottle of wine I'm gonna be trying out. We'll talk about that in a moment. Also, just a quick show note. I got some other stuff back online, which means I'll be able to. If you notice my last post, for the longest while, the only way I was able to upload was through some. I'll just call it some wizardry that I had to do on my part. But the trade-off was that I was only able to give a link. Now, if you click the link, I'll talk about how things used to be and how they have gone back to being, by the way. How things have been the past few months. I was only able to include a link. And basically, you click the link and it will take you to sort of a separate page. But it would have it would take you to a separate page that had a media player in it. Or you could long press it basically, and that would allow you to download the content. And I want the options to be available. Maybe you want to just listen to it on the site. Maybe you want to download it for later. I would guess the latter is probably true for most of you. That's the goddamnbacon.com, by the way, in case you didn't read the fucking screen. But now, as it used to be, and for what I'm not going to bore you with all the details, there's been a lot of shit going on. Just on the site and my equipment and all that stuff itself. The way it used to be and the way it is back again, I can include the link so you can download and listen to whatever the fuck I've gotten up to later. Or there's a media player right there on the fucking site. And so you can listen to it right off the site. I don't know, maybe you're vacuuming or making food or shooting at commies, whatever the fuck you're doing. No judgment here. Maybe you got a lazy Sunday. You're drinking Bud Lights while you're listening to this program. Again, no judgment. Just like Joe Dolio will say. Oh, another one, tacticalwisdom.com, tactical-wisdom.com. quite a bit of smoke off of this. Nice. It's actually pretty, this is pretty slow burning. Or am I thinking too fast ahead again? Something I'm known for. Also something to save my ass. But yeah, so now things are back to quote unquote normal. Now I figured out my uploading issues. Now I can upload again the way that I want to. So you have options right there on the fucking screen instead of trying to figure something else out. Of which, you know, if you're listening to my program, your one is Nick Schulaner. NickSchulaner.com, by the way. SEHULANER. Nick spelled normal with a C and a K. Like Calvin Klein. As he will point out, you're not sane. Let's trust me. Looking at the 95%, that's also a nice post that I've put up. Hopefully it helps people. Do you want to be sane? If that's the definition. But also, I'm going to guess you're smarter than the average. Well, you're smarter than 95%. That's why you're here. So go find an article. Go to goddamnbacon.com. Go to the search bar. Type in the 95%. Pops right up. And read that and understand it. And don't worry, I have three more articles coming out that I have to get started writing, you know, kind of. I explained some other things that I think everyone else that's on Team Let 'em Burn here needs to know. So, that in mind. I'm starting to wonder which one would be better for the bar. Would a cigar be better or would a pipe be better? I can guess pipe would be better for in-house because there's a lot more metered. And as Bull Rush told me, you know, actually don't suck in all that much smoke as you will with a cigar. I don't know. That's its own pros and cons there. But I don't know which one would be eye-catching. Again, I don't know what you go to the bar for. Well, I go there to actually talk to people as well. But you know what? Sometimes we got the girls that go to the bar. You know, after Hot Russian X left, that's majority of that's where I met the majority of the women that I ended up hooking up with. Actually, hang on. One that was the slump buster that was a 50-year-old lesbian or lesbian in her 50s, wherever the hell she was. Who actually tried to hook up with me before I broke up with or ended up parting ways with Hot Russian X. She parted ways with me, or whatever the fuck you call it. Bowl of Chaos, of course, that's where I met her. It's two separate bars, actually. The Big Blue Blonde, the nurse. Wicked Dog Walker, she was a men's room thing. Mensroomlive.com, by the way. Actually, I need to check and see if that's still a live website. I don't know if they still have that since they basically gave them this syndication. So they're not broadcasting on different radio stations anymore. Me and her, we were never at bars. We met on different things that we both kind of mutually follow. Oh, the almost 22-year-old. The girl that looks like basically kind of like Dare Taylor, but with some different features. All right, so 4 out of 5 at the bar. Kind of a draw, if you ask me. Now, depends on your bar. The bar I used to go to where I pulled the most, I think, what was it? 1, 2, 3 out of 5 came from the same bar, basically. I say 2.5 because Bolakas, I met her at the main bar, but I ended up meeting her again. It was kind of a chance encounter, so it was at another bar that was close by, and then we went to the other bar. But even the worst test, that's what, 50-50? I don't know that much about the bars out here. I've only gone to, I think, one. And I stopped going because of the mask bullshit, which I'll be lifting again for the obvious reasons. I already talked about this. But let's just put it this way. Go there to talk to people. Getting away is kind of a, well, getting drunk is a very tertiary thing because chances are I've already had quite a few to drink before I go there. Hey, how do we save money? Drink beforehand. Then all you're doing is maybe you're ordering a beer, you're ordering a shot because people want to take shots, all that kind of stuff. You're not spending $50, $60. I think the largest bill I've had at a bar was like, it was like $40, maybe 50. That's because I was buying other people like shots and stuff. I was being very generous. I'm already hammered by the time I get there. Yeah, close second. That's where I went to go get the girls. And get in fights, apparently. We'll try that this Halloween. This Halloween, just to give a show note, there will not be a show unless something crazy fucking happens. There will not be a wide open phones. Halloween night, that is on a Saturday night. By the way, that is a full moon too, which should help for 4th of July, but didn't. I don't know, because COVID. Who knows if this Halloween will be different? I previously said that I'm not going to celebrate Halloween anymore unless it was on the weekend, and I'm holding my word to that because it's on a Saturday. So things may be different. I'm going to at least give it the fucking college try. If not, I'm going to be right back here. And won't be too much harm, too much foul. Maybe it'll be some Uber expenses that I could have saved on, but you know what? That comes with the college try. I mean, the other again, it's going to be the last week before the fucking election, before popcorn and beheading season starts. I mean, after that, who knows what the fuck is going to happen? I certainly don't know. We all have our ideas. We all got to have our preparation, but nobody knows what the fuck is going to happen until it fucking happens. So you know what? I'm going to take that last week. I'm going to actually try to go out. I'll follow the fucking procedures. I will wear a respirator, not a mask. It's the season of what you call it, the wearing a costume. I'm wearing a costume right now that really isn't a costume. I'm going as Darth Bacon. Boobed up bacon, whatever you want to call it. I've got the metal protection, the metal reinforcement. All the other weapons attached to it, I'll probably have to have a doorman hold most of them. I'm pretty sure most bars don't want bear mace and a giant fucking hammer on a guy like walking around in a place where the only draw there is drinking. Understood. I got no problem, like having someone kind of take care of that kind of thing. Or just putting it somewhere where I can pick it up later as I'm leaving. That's no problem, but trust me, everything else. Look, I'll break the rules sort of for that. Check out my new area. Maybe I'll go back to the old bar that I was going to. That's literally a couple blocks down the street. Now I'll say this again, it's nice. I miss, what was it, the 1.5 mile walk one way? Which, if you gather how much I fucking walk around and just go talk to people anyways, it ends up being like 4 miles total. walking around and then walking away from my old bar. Trust me, I miss my old bar. I do. I haven't had a chance to go there. Maybe I will go there again. I don't know. But hell, if all hell's gonna go loose, I at least want to spend one last weekend actually getting out and associated with people than having fun. I really do. And speaking of fun, I got this in the same town I go to. It's I'll give it out. SARS Super Saver. I think they're local up here, and they get a lot of Russian stuff. I have this bottle of wine. It's called Protest, and it was in their closeout section. What I was drinking prior to this was Red Hook IP. I got a 12 pack of them. I decided to drink. I decided to keep that. Figured to come in handy. It is coming in handy. Now, I want to notice this one, what I'm cutting through now, is it's sealed with wax, which is very interesting. And two, it says it's aged in rye whiskey barrels. Now, I've had wines that were aged in bourbon. They're aged in other kind of whiskeys and whiskey barrels, by the way, or bourbon barrels. And what I've noticed is that for whatever reason, I mean, whiskey itself is not known for being sweet. But for whatever reason, the wine itself ended up being not way too sweet, but just sweet enough that it's just a little bit too much. Now, that's bourbon, that's other whiskeys. I have not had, this is a red blend, it's from Sonoma County, it's 2016. I have not had one that was aged in rye whiskey barrels. So that's something I saw, and that's completely new to me. So what I did was, I don't know if you can hear the window fans. I'm going to be doing some other experimentations. By the way, the mic, good thing about that, it's omnidirectional, but it's you got to get real close in. You got to swallow the mic like I tell my women to do. Hey, do a good job playing karaoke. You'll get a good reward. But it'll cut out a lot of that stuff. The music that I used to have in the background, which will be making a comeback at some point. It would also help mask that. I'm usually smoking a cigar, like I am now. CJ Fuentes is a pretty good one so far. I think it lost its spark actually. So it's not. That ash is not coming off. That ash, I remember that meme. Yeah, it will mask like any of the other background noise. The fan being the biggest one, and the fans now they're a little bit farther away, but there's two of them now. Used to be a lot closer by to where the auto was being picked up. I really like this. Give me a moment. Oh yeah, that's much better. Much nicer plumes of smoke going right out of the fucking windows, right into the fans. Perfect, exactly where it should be going. Take one more puff and I'll pour this wine and I'll talk about something else. Not bad so far. As physical effects, I'm not getting too much of a head high off of this, at least yet. Not yet. As far as I can tell, I have not smoked all that much of it. We will see as time continues here. All right. I recently lost this glass. This is a glass I got from the first wine and chocolate festival that I went to in Enumclaw. Now this one actually, I have two of these. I still have both of them. What they would do is they would it was $30 for I guess how many fucking tickets or whatever. And they had wine and chocolate. And they had a lot of other things. They had jerky. They had people selling shirts, lawn decorations, all kinds of stuff. But it was fun just trying all kinds of different wines there. And what they would do, they would give you a glass once you pay them. But if you what were you on? Was it getmyperks.com? And they're not just open in Seattle or Los Angeles or Portland and everything. They're all over the place. They're the localized deals. And this was a 2-for-1 deal. So I went and I actually had an Airbnb for 2 nights, I think. Because I went for 2 nights. Not bad as an initial test, by the way. Taste, rather. So I basically used both of them for myself, just one for Friday or the other for Saturday. And I figured I'd be able to pick some. Women tend to like wine and chocolate. That's why I went there. But yeah, things didn't work out all the way. And that's fine because I only rented a room there anyways, which was like 40 fucking minutes walking away, by the way. Turns out Uber and Lyft, not that big a thing in Enumclaw. But I enjoy it myself. You know, I got a couple wine glasses out of it. Pretty fucking sturdy was, and they've lasted over the years. And dropped them a few times. They wash really fucking nicely. And I remember the next year I went with my buddy, my liberal buddy that also lives in Enumclaw. I stayed with her that night, basically. I got the 2 tickets, the 2-for-1, but I used it for both of us. So we just went for the one night. She kept the other ones, but those they were a lot daintier. Let's just put it that way. They're more like your standard wine glass you maybe get at your local Dollar Tree. It just had wine and chocolate put on it. Still fairly good glasses, but not as good quality as these. And I think I missed like what was the next one? That was when I was with Bowl of Chaos. That would have been a nice trip for us to go on. Hey, you know, missed opportunities. What can I say? And then, you know, of course, I think they actually did do one this year, right before everything shut down. I don't know, but hey, who knows? So protests. It's a red blend from Sonoma County, Asian rye whiskey beers. Definitely not sweet, that's for sure. This is definitely a drier wine. Definitely richer. Not much nose on it. I had it. I put it next to the fans. I put it in the window before I left, and I figured it'd get pretty close to about temperature. You want it to be about 60, 65 degrees. Um, for red wines, it's a little bit lower for white wines. Turns out whites, they tend to dig. They tend to do well in lower temperatures than the Redskins do. We continue. Not much of a nose on it. I put it in the freezer afterwards because it was like 67 degrees or something. I got a new thermometer or meat thermometer. Pretty decent one, apparently. We have yet to test that out. So I threw it in the booze freezer to chill off a bit. So this may be a little bit colder than this should be. Everyone not getting that much of a nose on it, but not bad so far. I'm enjoying it. I told him I'd come back Sunday or Monday or something like that if this was a really good one. This is what was it? It was in the closer section. It was $12.99, $13. Again, it's got a wax covering over the cork. Pairs well with this cigar, I'll tell you that. Which is not a bad cigar. I mean, it definitely isn't overpowering. Um, I say maybe I'm smoking it not in the best way. I don't know. I haven't had to reopen any holes here. You know, I punched it a few times with the foil cutter. It's holding a cherry pretty well. Not that much of an effect though, so kind of noted. This is the second time I've had this from my A Fuentes cigar. This is the second one I've had there. So decent just as far as smoking goes. Smells okay. Mmm. Cellared and bottled by Chateau Diana Brewery, Harrodsburg, California. 14.9 by volume. Okay, this is some serious firepower as far as wine goes. So almost 15 minutes in to at least touch on the fucking topic that I wanted to talk about. Just because I wanted to have a topic to talk about. You guys saw the thumbnail. Have an idea about that. So I had this idea, and this is an idea that kind of backpacked off of not two, but several shows. I think they were all on Let 'Em Burn. Nick August, by the way. They're kind of lamenting last out. Keep in mind, the show was literally called Let 'Em Burn. So you think they'd be okay with this, or maybe not okay, but at least accepting it? And in their own way, they are. So no shade to them as far as this goes. They spent the last 3, 4, whatever fucking weeks kind of complaining about, not even complaining, but just kind of knows like rock and roll is going to be the exact same way that it was. And I attempted to kind of course correct them. Basic, hey guys, rock and roll isn't dead. It just adapts. It morphs to deal with whatever the fuck is going on. That's kind of the idea of rock. And address other things. By the way, look this up. Five Finger Death Punch's latest song. Joe Dolio actually pointed this out. And thanks to Rambo, I can't remember your actual handle. It's his stated name on there is Rambo, and he has a picture of like some Greek person was enshrined in stone or whatever. He always tags me in like a million fucking things, which is fine, by the way. I do enjoy reading it. You're not spamming me or anything. I do enjoy it. But he alerted me to Joe Dolio's post and was like, this is fucking perfect. I can't remember what it's called. Maybe it was Wake Up America or something like that. Actually, when I'm actively trying to get a bit of a high off of this, I don't think I'm going to, which is fine. But it basically just describes this whole fucking year perfectly. Fucking Antifa people being held by a Democrat, white blonde woman with short hair. Everybody wearing a mask and all this shit. Maybe some awakening. Who knows if that's going to fucking happen. But definitely worth looking up. I can't remember exactly what it's called. Well, that's because I can't remember what it's called at all. But trust worth checking out. And that'll be coming up on another episode. I tried to do one last night. And I was going to do it live on Instagram. Here's the problem, though. Literally, as I was, I had this device that I'm broadcasting to you on now. I was charging this one so I could make sure I had enough power to get through the whole show, depending on how long it went. And it went quite the distance, actually. But I was on my other device, which is also logged in through the app on Instagram. And literally, as I was sending stuff out, and answering people on there, because God knows I hadn't had time to answer anybody on there within the last few days. Got a lot more time. I got more time now these days, so doing better as far as that goes. Literally, like within about a minute, I get a fucking message like, "Hey, your post has been removed because of sexual content." And what was the sexual content, mind you? You're gonna find out Monday. But it was a picture that what's her name, Daniela Chavez. She's been a model that I've been following for quite a while. She's so large, she's not gonna notice any comment I send, so I don't bother. She's not like Dare Taylor. She's not like Peanut Physique. She's not like Nicole Sislak. Well, I don't post any of her pictures anymore. Yeah, a picture of her, and basically she was topless, but it was what was it, Easter bunny thing? She had a kind of red bunny ears on, and it was just from the kind of the waist up. She's topless, but she has like a carrot covering one nipple and her hand covering the other. So keep this in mind. I pulled this picture off of Instagram. It was a screenshot off of there. I got, and as far as I know, that still hasn't been pulled down. I might have to go back and look. Who knows? Well, it was a picture I got off of Instagram itself and edited it into a cover art for another show. That show, by the way, I think that was the one where I was talking about basically all hell breaking loose at the old apartment. And I know because it had the part of the cover included like the police raiding some house or something. So that's how I know. This would have been about, oh God, 5 months ago. And right when I was on it, it got flagged right then. And they showed like 3 or 4 other things that got flagged. There's a video I posted of the assholes I told I was going to fucking behead their sorry asses or bash their heads in or something like that. This was after the fucking skateboard attack. That got flagged. Several other things got flagged. And to do the whole thing is like, your account may be deleted. And I still remember I made the post like, oh, fuck you ass. Do you guys even fucking read this shit? You guys can't even keep your own fucking standards. Like, what the fuck is your problem? So I deal with that. I deal with other technical issues because I wanted to get some other stuff online, and thank God I did because it came in handy. So I got the show up. Just kind of a backstory, or not a backstory, but just a short version of that explanation. Nick came on, and he had to go because reasons. By the way, he came back later. I need to get some sleep in. 2 hours later, he's still, he's on other people's shows and shit. Whatever. I was on them too. That's how I know. Alec Checkerfield, by the way, I think that's who it is. Checkerfield Report. Checkers like the checkers, but without the S. Checkerfield. Like a field of checkers. Checkerfield Report. I subscribe to that, so hopefully I have something to listen to kind of later at night. Because I think he's on the other side of the globe. But he leaves, and I've decided, you know what? I wanted to play some of the rock music that I've been listening to, some of the newer stuff that I think is good. I mean, maybe you don't think it's good. That's fine. Music is kind of a subjective thing, subjective thing rather, and I understand that. Maybe you don't like what I listen to. Maybe I won't like these, but that's fine. But I wanted to make the point that rock wasn't dead, and I think I actually. Whatever the fuck that was. Anyways. So I got to go on live. I figured I'd throw it on Instagram Live. Why not? Turns out I can't. Well, I'm banned until, what was it, this Monday. And so the thing, I was going to do this tomorrow night. I was going to come back, fairly early or whatever. I was going to, because I listened back to that particular recording, and let's just put it this way, the setup that I had, let alone some of the technical difficulties that I had doing that show, it really doesn't do that music any justice. That's one of those things that, I kind of realized, should have realized that at the time, but, again, at the time I was kind of doing it on the fly. You really want to have the audio pretty fucking decent to deal with that. To actually make the music sound the way that it should, the way that I imagine the artist behind it would want it to be listened to as. That makes any sense. It wasn't up to the quality that at least I would want it to. So I was going to come back Sunday. No, it turns out, okay, I couldn't broadcast that night. I can't broadcast tonight. And I can't broadcast tomorrow night. Because, again, I got flagged and had a post removed because of some shit that was in a piece of another post. It was in the cover art of shit that was, and I got off of the fucking site that allowed it in the first fucking place. A moment. Smoke to calm down. And that's the shit I was like, guys, what the fuck? I even went on Google Play because it was funny enough. They, I got a notification. If you like the app, why don't you go ahead and give us a rating? Okay, fuckers, be careful what you fucking asked for. Yeah, I went and left them a 2-star fucking rating. Okay, the app works fine functionally. And I like the people that I interact with. But you motherfuckers who are like doing all this fucking censorship shit without even checking your own fucking resources. Like, what the fuck? This shit is getting ridiculous. It was already ridiculous, years ago. It's getting beyond that. Shit that was acceptable years ago is not acceptable now. And it's still, that's still pretty PG-13. Okay, you can see her boobies. You can't see her fucking nipples. I looked the fucking fine print, and that would be the problem. It's the same with, whatever FCC regulations as far as TV goes. Okay, you can show whatever you want. You can't show labia, you can't show nipples, and you can't show the actual anus of a woman. I'm sure there's some rules for guys, but, you know, again, I made the point, like, you guys are being fucking sexist against women. Because you look at the fucking language of that, there's no mention of guys, there's only mentions of women. Now, thankfully, I guess, I suppose, don't worry, I have a backup channel, at Laughter at Humanity. Spelled exactly the way it sounds. In case you're listening to this, in case I get my fucking channel, there's a reason I have a backup, and I'm probably going to make another one. Laughter at Humanity. At Laughter at Humanity. Look for Bacon Comments. It's the same one. It has the same avatar that this particular channel has, not what I'm broadcasting now. That's the avatar that I have for At the Goddamn Bacon. But if you look at my profile pic on here, it's the same one. So just look for the cartoon Thanos with the bacon strips over it, the bacon strips that are on fire over it specifically. Wrote about this last year. That was a fucking threat last year. I still remember that to this day. This is over there, Bronte Rose. By the way, I actually found her address and a whole lot of other shit. By the way, Nick, if you're listening to this, I got questions about her. Because you said you went to school with her. She's apparently closer to my age than she is to yours. Just gonna put that out there. I got an upgrade to my search software. Let's put it that way. It was like, seriously, okay. I'm not taking any sides politically. But you're going to censor this shit? Really? What the fuck? Trust me, I went ahead and put in a pill because it didn't cost me anything. I'm going to really hold my fucking breath for that bullshit. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to get right on that. Yeah, I'm surprised I was allowed to get as many followers that I still have now. I think I'm close to 400 or something. Still my longest running page. Not counting my old Facebook account. Which I'm surprised I only got flagged once. That's what it's coming to. Lady Volunteer, I'll give you a shout out here because we kind of had a back and forth today. It's like, you're wondering why people aren't listening to the evidence as far as the mask thing goes? It's the same reason they're not listening to any evidence as far as anything goes. All that matters is the narrative. All that matters is what people are told to believe. And that's what it is. There is no negotiating anymore. That's been off the table for a long fucking time. Ask me how I know. Ask Twitter how they know. They don't negotiate anymore. If there's even anyone there to negotiate. Instagram, the same fucking way. Facebook, there's a reason I'm not on there. YouTube asked my old account how it knows. Oh, you can't. It's gone. And with it, the whole fucking Google account, by the way. But all that shit, even if we're just talking about programs or robots or whatever, understand, it ain't necessarily just their fault. They still have to be programmed by humans. And they're programmed by humans to do what the humans want them to do. So if you're talking about an algorithm that targets certain things, that algorithm was programmed by a human. That human had their own narrative. They had their own biases. So why are you surprised that the whole mirror mask? We have a million fucking studies out now saying that the mask didn't do jack shit. Quarantining at home didn't do jack shit. Having people stand 6 feet apart didn't do jack shit. That's a let alone for, quarantining in place. I think I did a show where I talked about it was a couple or something, or a family that they quarantined for 3 weeks and still got fucking COVID, quote unquote. This control interest exit thing, that didn't fucking help. Shutting down all the fucking businesses that were quote unquote non-essential, that didn't do jack shit. Hell, again, going back to the mask thing, that actually made things fucking worse. I hope I'm glad I was sitting down for this. Hopefully you were. If you weren't, go apply for unemployment. I don't know. Here, the police sirens. Somebody's having a bad night tonight. That's just including the cops. No, literally Hitler. None of this shit that people are being told to do. Back in March, I came with it was 13 terms that he sent Duck, and then came with I found 3 or 4 more, including contact tracing. By the way, turn off your Bluetooth. That's how they get you, quote unquote. All this shit that's supposed to keep us safe, limit elevators to one household or 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck they fucking make up, basically. None of this shit's for COVID. None of this shit is to keep you safe. It's all about control. That's all it is. We can make you do this. And by the way, all the fucking business owners, all the business employees, or, oh God, no shirt, no shoes, no service, and now it's no mask. So what's the big fucking deal? All we did was add a mask. Let alone common sense. Oh, wait, since formerly known as common, let me correct myself. It ain't common anymore. It hasn't been common since the aughts, at least. That's why I actually came up with that concept. The since formerly known as common. I talked about that shit in 2006. That was 14 years ago. This is getting a little more floral, by the way. This cigar. It's at the ends. It's not holding up all that well. Skin's starting to flake. But no, none of this bullshit. None of this mask bullshit. None of this stand 6 feet apart. Cover your cough. Wash your hands. That has been the funniest fucking thing ever. Now, I talked about this a few years ago. This is something that was talked about in the black community. And is that you don't trust white people, you don't shake their hands or whatever because white people don't wash their hands. I don't know how true that is. Keep in mind, I think they are the ones that invented soap and running water, by the way. So I don't know how true that is in today's society versus back then. But that's one of the stereotypes that black people had about white people. I even had my liberal buddy who's white. She sent me a message right after that ended up getting aired. I think I just sent it as a text message to the men's room. 77999, by the way, if you want to text them live. They're on air unless they're doing a future repeat from 2 to 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. She texted me and said guilty. But understand, she's spent most of her life like working on farms and shit like that. She's unique in a lot of different ways. Let's just put it that way. I think this will be my final line of this. But that was one of the funniest things to come up. Oh yeah, you want to beat COVID-19? Wash your hands. Really? Because literally Hitler, every other germ, you know, we had the H1N1, we had the fucking swine flu, we had Ebola for fuck's sake, and now is actually a real fucking scary one. You do not want to get Ebola. And that one fucking ad that I can fucking remember, if you guys can point me to one, let me know. It was like, I don't remember seeing one fucking ad about wash your hands, but this COVID-19 bullshit, scariest virus in human history, apparently. I guess that beats the Black Plague. I guess that beats the asteroids hitting the fucking Earth. I guess that's not a virus, but still. Now you need to be reminded to wash your hands. Now you need to be reminded, you know, like cover your fucking coughs. Really? Are we that fucking retarded? Apparently we are as a species. Well, all this bullshit, that's what it is. It's about control. I can make you do this. You can come in my business, you know, no whatever, no service. And now that just includes no mask, no service. I've literally had, you know, clients or vendors or whatever, they've held orders hostage. I was like, okay, I have your order. Literally holding my fucking order. But you need to wear a mask in order for me to hand you the fucking order on the goddamn table where we can literally Hitler stands 6 feet apart. Because that's a fucking requirement now. You can, outside, by the way, open air. There are places you're like, it's open air. Dick's Burgers, hamburgers, or whatever. Most of them really don't care. Only a few of them do, which is why I'm gonna actually try getting a bag of Dick's. You guys go ahead and take that as a sound bite. I do want to try their stuff, in part because of that. Literally, open air, and you still have to wear a mask. Cheesecake Factory, just say, same fucking thing. I'm not even going into your restaurant. You still want to wear a mask. For what? I'm outside. Are you fucking kidding me? Ain't about COVID. Ain't about safety. Ain't about avoiding a pandemic. It's all about control. That's exactly what it is. That's what all this shit is about. We're getting a test trial run of, you know what? Somebody in authority says this is okay. Even if it's reprehensible, even if it doesn't even fucking work, even if it infringes on the fucking amendments. And trust me, I tried. I tried pointing out exactly which amendments this fucking avoids. 2 women, which, by the way, as a minority, this kind of fucking affects, you know, law-wise. But as a woman, it affects even fucking more. They still did so. They're not going to stop. Look that quote up. Go to the search bar in YouTube. Pause this. Go to your search bar in YouTube. Type in "I am legend." They're not going to stop. Look for the video. I think it's about 3 minutes long or something. Look that up. That's what we're dealing with today. They're not going to stop. Why I have Skateboard Slayer in my, I guess, StreamYard label or whatever? Because I went through the physical version of that. I know all the deterrents. I was a martial arts instructor. I'm a fucking sensei, goddammit. And by the way, you don't even get to, most people, we can count the people who got to black belt level in our class on two hands over its, God, it started in 1979, 31-year history. Thousands of students have came and gone through this class. There's only been about 8 or 9 black belts. I'm one of them. And then went 2 belts beyond that. I was teaching when I left. And one of the things we teach deterrent tactics. I used every single one. None of them weren't. The only thing to stop these fucking assholes, the only thing to stop these fucking skateboarders is me actually kicking one of them. I tried everything I could. Stun baton, words, all that stuff. Again, and by the way, ask Rob says how he knows. I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'2". I weigh how much do I weigh now? I weighed in 180 pounds. Most of that's muscle. I can go weigh myself. Hang on. I'm gonna take a pull off of this, and then I'm gonna go weigh myself. Hang on. Gained almost 5 pounds. Jesus. Thank you, Bullet Chaos, by the way, for the scale. Pretty fucking accurate one. Actually, I've tested it with my weights. Actually, 50-pound weights, it actually zeroes it in pretty well. Weights are actually 101 pounds. I just weighed in at 186.1 pounds. So I don't know how much I'm gonna weigh by the time I get out of here. You might have been drinking. I've had a few things to eat, not that much, but a little bit. I'm no small guy, is what I'm saying. And these fucking waifs, these fucking spurs, which combined probably weighed about 250 pounds, they still fucking attacked me. That's how bad it is out here. I don't know what it's like in your neck of the woods, but yeah, common sense that's been gone for a long fucking time. Going against the rules when they go against reality, that's been gone for a long fucking time. That axiom about a lie can spread around the world before the truth can even get its pants on. Truth has had his pants on, has been preaching and going on tours for a long fucking time now. No one's listening. Because them's the rules. No one's listening. Because it ain't about reason. It ain't about evidence. Why am I the rogue philosopher? Stefan Molyneux, respect the guy to death. He's wasting his time. Maybe not wasting his time financially, as far as his listeners go. His listeners like him, myself included. Guy manages to make a living just asking for donations for what he puts out there for free. You can talk about him all you want as far as that goes. You got to respect the guy. He's able to make a living just asking for things that he puts out there for anyone to listen to. He's not putting it behind a paywall. Maybe there's some things he puts behind a paywall. I don't know. I think he does have a Patreon or whatever. If he's still allowed or not, I think he has Discord too. That's something else I have to look into. And he's not wrong in what he's saying. But his goal, ultimately, is to change things. The reason he does the shows that he does is to change things. The reason he talks to people is to help them get into better positions than what they're calling him about in the first place. Same thing with his standalone videos, which he used to have on YouTube, and now he's gone. The ideal philosophy is to actually be effective. It's to highlight reality for what it really is and to make things better as far as humanity is concerned. Everything else is just nature. It's just nature taking whatever the hell, whatever is going to happen. Just acknowledging reality is just acknowledging nature. You know, the lion is going to eat the zebra when it can get it. Zebra is going to fight back and kick it, whatever, so to preserve its own life, so it could survive and reproduce. Survive and reproduce, by the way, that's also taught in POA classes, just so you know. That's a big part of philosophy, but that's only one part. The other part is, what are the solutions? Okay. Lions or tigers might want to kill us. That's a good example. Tigers might want to kill you. If you live in India, that's going to be a big fucking problem, apparently. They got a lot of big old tigers there. So the tigers, they want to live. They want to get calories. They want to get protein so that they can survive and reproduce. So what's one of the targets? India, one of the biggest populations on the planet. I think it's second behind China. And by the way, a real small fucking plot of land. There's a lot of humans per square foot in India than there are in China. And China has a much bigger population. So what's one of the biggest sources of calories? What's one of the biggest sources of protein? There's other animals and stuff there. It's going to be cows because they like to keep the cows sacred and all this stuff. Those also tend to be pretty well protected. What's one of the groups that they can fucking target? Fucking humans. The tigers are going to go after the humans. Okay? So I guess the first principle is tigers go after humans. That's a reality. That's a fact of life. You can disagree with that all you want. Until you have a tiger ambush you and sink his teeth into the back of your neck, severing your spinal cord, and basically your body's fucking useless and it can just fucking eat you. That's how cats work. That's how ambush predators work. That's what cats are. See cougars up here in the Pacific Northwest. But practically, what did the Indians do about that? They started putting on masks and hats and stuff that had eyes on the back of their heads. Again, big cats are ambush predators. They attack when they don't think you're looking. Having the eyes in the back of his neck, who knows how long this is going to be effective? Because I happen to also be pretty fucking smart. But But if they think you're looking at them, they won't attack. So when they started doing that tactic, when they started putting the eyes in the back of their heads in whatever fashion they did, a lot of the attacks went down. Even if the cats were there, even if they were getting stalked. Guys in the front and the guys in the back. Eyes literally in the back of their heads. They can't see through those eyes, but the cats don't know that. So there's a solution. Same thing with what I'm doing versus what Stefan Molyneux's doing. His argument, if I remember correctly, he was asked, you know, what if your arguments aren't working? What if they get ignored? What if they get superseded or whatever? And his argument was, well, you make more arguments. You make better arguments. And I get that from an intellectual point of view. And it's even something I even preached at some point. At some point, I was just kind of following what he does. But then I realized it's not working. My job is to get things done. And if something is not working, then I have to fucking change something. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. That's something that was drilled in my head since the age of fucking 4. I'm in my 30s now. So I'm listening. That is why I'm the rogue philosopher. I am doing things differently. I agree and amplify, as Lady Voluntary has just found out recently. Apparently. Through me, apparently, I guess. I'm more for preemptive strikes now, which is something that my class has been preaching, but I've been so fucking nice. Again, I'm a nice guy as far as my old class is concerned. Still also one of the most dangerous, because you don't know what's going to happen when I snap. You don't know what's going to happen when I stop being nice, basically. The idea is to adapt. They're not listening to reason, so do something else. What is that something else? Well, I'm sorry, Steph. At some point, you're going to have to start using force. I hate to say it, but that's the reality. Keep in mind, it isn't the initiation of force. I'm still all for that. I don't do it myself. Despite all the weaponry and armor and all this shit that I carry now, I don't initiate force against someone. It's when I perceive, by the way, important distinction. You don't have to actually actively being bashed against the head, Kyle Rittenhouse style, to start using self-defense. You don't wait. Again, this is one of the reasons, even though I shouldn't be, I'm still kicking myself over the head about this. I didn't even do that when I was getting attacked by the skateboarders. Sure, doesn't come from me, so take it with a grain of salt, but I should take it with more than a grain of salt. Getting hit twice with the fucking skateboard, I blocked both hits, so and they were nothing to write home about. This is nothing. When I took 2 hits before I even threw one out. I don't know about you. That's kind of remarkable strength. I should have just fucking went after them right when they were coming after me. I really should have. That's what I'm saying with the physical confrontations. That's what I'm saying with the fucking the mass bullshit and all the other intellectual shit. Don't bother waiting. Don't bother. Because they're not gonna stop. They're not gonna stop. Finally start getting kind of a head hide from this. I'm almost done with this cigar, so I'm going to be closing this down in a moment. This actually is going longer than I thought it would. Guess that's what happens when you have something to say. Hopefully, if I get the time, I'll be writing about this. First one, hamsters. Short story. Ree! That's what it is. Even if you're agreeing and amplifying, even if you're saying, you're agreeing with them, don't argue with fools. That's the secret to happiness. Well, I disagree with that. Yes, you are right. But then somehow they're able to argue against that as well. They're able to argue against you agreeing with them. So at that point, they're just looking for a fucking argument. They're just looking for a fight. That's the hamsters. That's what it is. Arguing against the zombies. You know what? Yes, you're right, and they're still arguing. Okay. The only thing they're going to understand is force. And again, I'm going to put this out there. Look, again, humanity has been so removed from natural selection, they don't know how to recognize danger until it's pretty much cutting their fucking throats open, until it's running them over, until it's, throwing a fucking kick at them. Until they start feeling danger, until they start getting consequences, they're not going to fucking realize it until it's too fucking late. I did get a decent head off of this. So I'm going to save this. A Fuentes. There you go. Cool. I've got 4 or 5 brands or so. Alec Bradley, Oliva, Acid, Punch, and A Fuentes. There we go. Give myself a little bit more wine. This is not a bad wine, by the way. Protest, 2016 Sonoma County. It's a red blend, aged in rye whiskey barrels. But no, they're not going to listen. They're not going to stop. They're not going to. And so either you make yourself scarce, you get yourself out of that situation, or if you have to do a confrontation, pursue it until the threat is neutralized. Because they're not going to stop. Whether it's an argument, whether it's an actual physical confrontation, they're not going to stop. And as somebody who knows pretty much all the deterrent tactics and literally had them fail in person, in the field, someone has had to dodge multiple fucking protests, which that has actually gone pretty well in my favor, because at least just what I carry in my stature and all stuff, they kind of parted ways. But I know what would have happened if the main body had been there. It would have been a bloodbath. I know that for sure. They're not going to stop. You find yourself in a position where you're surrounded by these assholes, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. If you're in a fighting situation, you fight the fuck back. I don't care how bad the odds look against you. I don't care how low your survival rating you think is going to be. What's the alternative? You just sit there and fucking die? You just sit there and okay, maybe there's a situation. Joe's always talked about this, and there was some woman, and that was in Portland. By the way, if you're in Portland, why the fuck are you going out? I might go out in Portland next few weeks. Who knows? And all these fucking protests out there, and they come out and they want you to raise your fist for Black Lives, or whatever. Joe Zolli is right. Just raise your fucking fist. I might not do that, but you know what? You're not me. Most of you aren't me. Most of you don't have my trading. Most of you don't have my experience. Most of you don't have my mindset. I understand that. So just raise your fucking fist. It may get the mob to look you over and go to somebody else who's the bigger target, which probably will be me. And then you get to watch that fucking show. Hopefully you got popcorn. But if you're in a situation, you know, like, okay, the arguments aren't working. They're not listening to reason. They're not listening to evidence. They're not listening to logic. They're not listening to reality, basically. Stop arguing. Why are you wasting your time? Go do something else. Yes, you're right, and then move on. Or agree and amplify if you want to keep fucking with them. Sometimes that wakes them up. Most of the times it doesn't. Ask me how I know. If it's a physical confrontation, then don't bother. Why waste your fucking time? Do you not have anything else better to do? Some of you fuckers have families. You know, you got a wife, you got a husband, you got kids, you got daughters, you got sons, especially. You got the next generation to help pay and build and maintain all the shit that I'm going to be fucking taking advantage of. Maybe even you. Should you live that long? How about you let them know this shit? They might need to know that in order to keep going and maybe find their own goddamn mates and do the same things that you did. Make families. Buy houses. Buy RVs if you're Morgan Rogue. Buy plots of lands and never have a fucking house on it ever if you're Aaron Clary. Get 5 million fucking cords of wood if you're a safety dock and you have a tree fall in your house. Have a harem as far as Masculine Geek and Bull Rush goes. Whatever. If you're listening to this, I want you to not just survive. Surviving is getting away from encounter, still alive, but you're on an iron lung. You're on life support. I don't want anybody who's living here to just survive, because that's literally the fucking standard. I want you guys to thrive. I want you guys to go along and do the things that you want to do with your own time, the finite time that you have on this planet. You've been granted by whatever force you think it is. Whether it's God, whether it's nature, whatever. I don't care. But I want you guys to make the best of the time that you have left on this planet. Because I don't know if you guys knew this. Hey, you guys, I'll give you about 13 seconds to sit down. Hope you're sitting down. Find somewhere to sit down. Sit on the ground if you need to. Hang on. Are you guys listening? Here it is. From this point now, until the point you die, that's the only time you got. That's it. That's all you got. Whether you believe in an afterlife, whether you believe in reincarnation, whether you believe this is it and by the time this ends, there's nothing but the blackness that you were born out of and that you're going to go back into. That's it. The specific life that you have now, that's it. That's all you got. And so what you do with it, well, that's up to you. Are you going to waste it arguing with these assholes? Are you going to waste it trying to negotiate with people who, humans that aren't going to, they don't even know what the fuck a word negotiate means anyways? Are you going to do it doing something else? Are you going to do it avoiding this? Don't be their jitsu, an important martial art, by the way. Hell, look what I'm doing right now. I could be at the bar arguing with people about the mask rule and staying 6 feet apart from people and, you know, closing certain tables because that's going to fucking prevent the fucking virus, which it didn't, by the way. I could spend my time doing that right now. Hell, if there were bars that were open right now, I could have been out there doing that now. But I find more fulfillment talking to you assholes, the very few, the elite few that choose to listen to this, to help you not do that. I already did it. Didn't work. I tried a deterrent tactics. Didn't work. Sure, those are lessons I had to learn up close and personal. I had to learn them firsthand. But now I get to give that to you. And I find more fulfilling doing this right now. While drinking pretty decent wine, I've got some nice food in the oven that's not only cooking the food, but keeping me warm tonight. Smoked a decent cigar. And I got other things going on later. I'm going to be cooking some steaks tonight on the cast iron. Does that have any fat on it? I think it does. No, it's got enough. I'm going to add some butter anyways. Whatever. I'm going to have a better night just staying in, doing this kind of show, and then doing other things later than I would have going out trying to, I don't know, maybe going online, try to change people's minds, going out in person, trying to change people's minds, and would have gotten the exact same thing done doing that than I am doing what I'm doing now. At least if you're listening to this, you're at least open to changing your mind. You're open to at least listening to what I have to say and at least considering that. So objectively, I am better off spending my time doing this. Now, will I be doing this Halloween night? Who knows? Probably not. I might come on for some rogue broadcast or something. But for tonight, this is a much better use of my time. Quite literally because you only get about 20 hours per month on StreamYard if you don't pay for whatever the fucking premium service is. I think it's like $7 a month or something, which I'll start paying for as soon as I get other shit handled. By the way, getting other shit handled, kind of better use of my time than arguing with people online, let alone in person. Hopefully this makes sense to you guys. Hopefully it does. Just again, go back on topic. Look, you're not going to get a person to talk to on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or Google or YouTube or whatever. So put in a type and hit the couple buttons. It tells you make a mistake. They put that in there just because as a COA thing. You're not likely to get somebody to kind of help you, but it doesn't cost you that much. Go ahead and do it anyways. But you know what? It ain't gonna do you any good. Don't bother, trying to appeal anything. Just fucking. They have made their decision. Again, as far as the masking, so they made a decision and they wanted to control you. Humans are going to take whatever control they can have over other humans. That's what they're going to do. And if this mask thing hasn't fucking convinced you of that, then I can't help you. You've tuned in the wrong fucking channel. But literally Hitler, everything else. Do it if it doesn't cost you that much. If not, just find a fucking workaround. Cut that fucker's head off if you can get away with it. And look, you're going to have to find workarounds. There's no way around it. No pun intended. They're there, they're coming after you, and they're not going to stop. So plan accordingly. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. If you wouldn't mind, I've given out the links or the websites or whatever to the people that I follow that I think you should. Jack Napier's thing, by the way, personalshrinkconsulting.com. Aaron Clary's AskForConsulting.com. You guys all know that. DT's theblackbrigade.org. I'm going to be getting back into that. Fighter Pilot Podcast, also a fun show to listen to. Peak-human.com, another dash. Tactical-wisdom.com. I got a whole list. You can find it on my site. I think I should put that in my landing page. Once I get the time, I'll get to that. But thank you for taking the time to listen to this. If you made it this far, Jesus Christ, we're almost 2 hours here. I got other things to do. I got a whole lot of weaponry to sharpen and hone here. I just got the tools for that last night. I don't know if I'll have the time to do most of it tomorrow. I don't know. It's a bye week, actually, as far as football goes. That actually does affect my business. So who knows how busy I'll be. Well, I won't be on Instagram, apparently. That's for fucking sure. I'm not allowed on there until Monday because reasons. But thank you for taking the time to listen. I've got stuff that's in the oven, and I've got steaks to cook. So, unless all hell breaks loose within the next hour or so, it's going to be a good night for me. And you know what? I could use a good night. Until next time, stay free. Keep it tactical. And above all else, be chaos, my friend.